YouTube, it's been quite a while. Alright, this go round, big pickup time. System, retro, Dreamcast, stare at it in awe. This fucking thing is awesome. This is the United States version, the NTSC. I picked it up about maybe a month and a half ago off at a retro store. That's not too far outside of Philly. I got it for $60. It came with the regular controller, the AV, the power cord, etc. You might be like, well, why'd you pay so much for it when you get it cheaper off eBay? Well, the reason why is because the retro store that I go to also fixes consoles. Just about every console imaginable. And so I have a year warranty on it. So I know the optical drives are usually set the fuck up. So I figured, hey, it's not a bad gig. It did come with the regular controller, but I bought in addition to it I think it's an H-Tech or whatever you call this joystick. Yeah, H-Tech. Not a bad controller. I don't think it's as good as the Neo Geo one. The joystick's actually pretty good. It's a little loose. And the buttons and all are not bad. Actually, I bought one off a seller previously, but the buttons kept sticking, whereas this one's pretty good. But if there's a way to mod this, please let me know, because I don't like the buttons on this shit. But yeah, anywho, alright, okay, let's get into the games, because that's what makes this system. So, let's do it. Alright. Alright, first up, we're going to have Marvel vs. Capcom. You played it in the arcade, you're playing it at home. Very good game. Definitely need a joystick for it. Next up is Jet Grind Radio. Skating, hip-hop-esque type of game. Very unique. I think it's the first cel-shaded game ever created. I might be wrong on that. But really decent game and fantastic music. Of course, I cannot be who I am without King of Fighters. This is King of Fighters Evolution. I have the one for the PS2. Here's King of Fighters. Technically, this is 98, but it's 99 because it came out later. Pretty good translation of the SNK Classic. Next up is Virtua Fighter 3. I think it's Team Battle. Not a bad game. Not as good as 2, by no means, but not bad. Next up is the Smash Pack. Pretty good. The problem is the sound is all fucked up. And I thought initially it was the disc, and then I found out later it wasn't. They just couldn't emulate it properly. So it's an okay game. Next up is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Based, I believe, on a comic book. Not a bad looking game. It's a unique looking, pretty decent moves, very creative. This is when Capcom was Capcom, not the broke-ass Crapcom that we know. Very innovative, very creative game. Next up, Crazy Taxi, needs no introduction. Really classic game. Next up, one of my favorites, Virtua Tennis. It's one of the first Dreamcast games I actually played. Really well made, excellent controls. Next, House of the Dead 2. Problem with this is I don't have a CRT and guns to play it, so I can't really play effectively. It's just using the crosshair. It's actually kind of fucking awkward, so it doesn't really work well, but the game itself is really quite good. Next up, another one needs no introduction, is Soul Calibur. I got this actually in a pack of different games, kind of as like a little lot. The graphics as far as the models, they still continue to hold up. The backgrounds you can tell are pretty dated, but for the time, day, and age it came out, it still holds up. Next up, it's going to be Sonic Adventure. Not exactly the Sonic game I expect it to be. It's not bad, but I can't really get into it. I heard the second one's a bit better. Somebody comment below, let me know what's going on with that. So, yeah. Alright, next up. This one I haven't actually played. It actually came in a like that lot with, I believe it was Soul Calibur, is Choo Choo Rocket. The case is kind of fucked up, but it's a little puzzle game. I have to give it a try. It's not bad. So, alright. Next up, of course, a lot of people should know this game is Shenmue. The case is fucked up. I actually tried to contact the seller regarding a couple of the cases that were fucked up, and he never responded back, so fuck him. He got bad feedback. Comes with old discs and all, and they're pretty in decent shape. Alright, that's the American games, I believe. let's move on to the imports, because one of the reasons why you import it, you buy a Dreamcast is not so much for the American games, it's for the imports. And how do we play import games? Is it region locked? Yeah, the system is region locked. So basically, you need something like that. This is a DCX. It's one of the boot discs that I guess it's able to read or kind of like trick the system into reading whatever the game you're putting out. It's really cool. It's a basic disc. If I can get it out, it'd be fucking helpful. There you go. Basically what it looks like. Hey, play imported games. Works really well. Alright, so let's get into the imported games. Next up is going to be, this is actually Tech Romancer. This is a Japanese version. And what's good about actually getting a lot of these games is I was shocked, is a lot of US sellers have a lot of import games. So I don't have to pay a lot of the EMS and custom taxes and all that other dumb shit that comes along with importing. So that's another thing that's excellent about that system because of that goofy little thing right there. Next up is going to be Vampire Chronicles. It comes with, the seller actually had the OB spine with it and all. It's Darkstalkers. Basically, it's all of them combined into one, and I believe this is the match play, so where you can get online. Of course, you can't get online now, I don't think so. Next up is going to be the King of Fighters 2002. Of course, I can't be without King of Fighters. This only came out to Japan. Very good translation of the Neo Geo. Next up is going to be Power Stone. 3D fighter, actually pretty good. Like I said, this is the time when Capcom was kind of at their best, and they were really innovative. Next up, I believe, this is Mars Matrix. God, this game is fucking hard. It's actually a really cool shooter. If you can see too much of the screenshots. It's actually a really nice shooter by Capcom. Capcom did a hell of a job supporting the Dreamcast. I got to give it to them. Like the majority of games that are out for the Dreamcast are at least by Capcom. There's a few SNK games, but majority are by Capcom. Really good shooter. Next up, it's going to be Gunbird 2. Okay, as you can see, Capcom supported. Comes with the OB spine. There you go, disc. Next up, the King of Fighters 2000. Comes with everything, except the spine. This is another one that's got a heart of. A lot of these games I got for under like $20, because some of these imports they're still trying to sell, American sellers are still trying to sell them really expensive, so I'm not going to pay a certain amount over for certain games. Next up, the King of Fighters 2001. You can see, right? Not everybody's favorite game, really, in the series. I kind of like it. And it's pretty cool. It's an excellent translation of the Neo Geo. Next up, I believe this is Power Stone 2? Yeah, it should be Power Stone 2. Yes, Power Stone 2. This is actually really nice. Nice take on the first one. This has like multi-levels and environments that can actually hurt you. It's really, really cool. The American version is kind of expensive, and I wasn't willing to pay it, so I decided to get the Japanese version. Really cool game. Next up is going to be, what is this? Capcom vs. SNK 2, Millionaire Fighting 2001. This never came to the States. It did come to, of course, the PlayStation 2 and Xbox, but it never came to the United States. Pretty much like the arcade. I think there might be a little bit more in this version. It seems it's a little bit different than the PS2 version. Next up, nobody can forget, is Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Of course, really good game. Very good translation of it. Very fast moving. I don't see any issues like slowdown or anything. Next up, it's going to be Third Strike. Like I said, I have this game for the PS2 because it was on one of the compilation discs. Very good game, very fast, fluid, excellent title. Next, it's going to be Street Fighter 3 Double Impact. This contains, I believe it's, what do you call it? The first Street Fighter 3 and then the second one. So it's like the new generations. It's a really cool game because I haven't played the actual first and second one in a very, very long time, so it was good to actually own a copy of it. I don't think it came out to any other system that I'm aware of other than the Dreamcast. It might have come out maybe to PC. Next up is going to be Street Fighter Alpha 3, or actually Street Fighter 03. Very good translation. This game came out to, I think, came out as a Capcom, what do you call that? Capcom compilation, or like an alpha compilation, and it came out to PlayStation 1. Very faithful translation. Last but not least is Capcom vs. SNK. This is the first one. Actually, I have the original disc. It's Japanese, but it doesn't have the the manual or the actual jewel case. Because when I bought the system, this was like the game I wanted to play. But this version that you're looking at right now is actually Actually has extra characters in it, so it's pretty cool. All right, then. So, all right. Now, what else did I pick up? All right. Next thing I picked up is a Neo Geo Pocket Color. Now, I decided to pick this up because I kind of missed having mine. This is one of the really unique systems it's a shame it kind of had an early death. The only problem with the Neo Geo Pocket Color, it's not backlit, but it's really, really cool to play, and probably one of the best handhelds on here is, well, this is Metal Slug, but it's actually SNK versus Capcom, the Millennium match. Really cool game. As you can see, nice in color. It's kind of hard to see the graphics. I'll shut that shit off. Takes one of those cell batteries. I forget what the fuck, like a watch battery. And the next games I'm going to show you, the majority of these games, like that Metal Slug right there, was given to me by Jose, my partner in crime on the podcast. I'll show you what he gave me. He gave me King of Fighters R2, or Round 2. Last Blade. Yeah, I believe that's Last Blade. And Samurai Showdown 2. And of course, I bought with the system was Match of the Millennium. Really cool. I appreciate that, Jose. I had to give him credit. He had, like, I don't know, doubles or triples of the game, and he sent them out to me. And like I said, when I bought this came with the box. It has all the manuals and all sorts of shit. I'm not going to pull that out. Alright, one last thing before I go. I'm going to show you guys something. If you look at the TV screen, I didn't actually buy anything Neo Geo like in a long time. I haven't, because I've been actually trying to concentrate on just kind of like just only the necessary games I want, and they haven't been around, or they've been really too expensive for me to actually pick up. So, but I actually purchased something that I really like, and I want this to go out to you, to especially Neo Geo owners or people who like stuff that's Nintendo up till maybe the Dreamcast. And I'm going to show you right here. Just pay attention to the screen. Now you see it says SCART RGB NTSC, and it said 1080, and I launched the Neo Geo. Okay, what I did is you might be wondering, well, what the fuck does that mean? Alright. This little thing back here, I'll show you if I can. This is an HD converter. Basically what this is I have the SCART cable connected from the Neo Geo, connected into this box right here. Here's your SCART cable. And TVs in America never took SCART. It's more prevalent in Europe, but it's more prevalent actually in England. Because initially SCART was actually a French device. But with the SCART connected into the box, there's the HDMI cord connected into, you can't see all that mess back there, but it's my HDMI connections. So what does that mean? That means I can upscale my Neo Geo from, its analog signal into the digital signal. So the graphics look stellar. It doesn't make them high def, but it upscales it to 720, 1080, and I believe you can switch between SCART and NTSC. So that's why you see at the bottom that. And you see what it says. And the graphics are extremely crisp. I don't know if necessarily the camera can pick them up, but I'll see if it will pick up some of the things. But all the colors, any rough edges actually been smoothed out. Now, if the graphics are kind of still pixelated, I mean, it's going to show them off as still pixelated, but the colors look fantastic. I don't know if you can tell, but it's just really sharp. And what it does is too, also, this way I don't have to keep on fucking with S-Video, because I had the Neo Geo, which is modded for S-Video, hooked up to S-Video, and was a pain in the ass because of the Dreamcast. So the fact of the matter is that I don't need to hook it up to S-Video, because now I have it hooked up through SCART to HDMI. So it actually, because most TVs have more HDMI connections than they do S-Video or component. But I don't know if you can tell, but the graphics, you know, just look at the colors, how vivid this shit is. That's fucking badass. I'm telling you something, that is really nice looking. Way crisper than S-Video. And it might even be on the level of component or a little bit above. I think it might be a little bit above components. Alright then, like I said, this is what I've been up to, and I hope you enjoy. Listen, anybody out there who knows a lot about the Dreamcast, please comment below, tell me what games I should look into. I'm probably going to look into a VGA adapter to get a better picture for the Dreamcast. So yeah, I appreciate any comments you want to give or recommendations, because technically I'm kind of new to the system, so even though I have played it before, but since it's early death here, I didn't know a lot of the stuff that was going on in Japan. So alright then, I don't want to keep on babbling. I appreciate it. Take care.